Hey, I'm Indy Clinton, and this is Sleep Deprived, a podcast where I dive into all the unspoken parts of life, including relationships, friendships, beauty, and motherhood. This is life unfiltered, sleep deprived, and running off caffeine. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sleep Deprived. This is our final episode. I'm doing a Q&A to end it because I know you guys love hearing me talk. So I wrote in and I told you guys to ask me a bunch of questions that you want to hear and you want me to answer, because I feel like I don't really answer questions. I'm not someone just that's going to talk and talk unless I'm prompted. So I have a bunch of questions here I'm going to read, and you guys will probably love me or hate me after this. So question number 1. How are you protecting yourself from getting pregnant? I am too scared to even have sex. Well, Taylor, that's really unfortunate. You're too scared to have sex. Right now, actually, I'm on the IUD, the copper IUD. I got it inserted. Oh, that sounds so hectic. I got it inserted in me a few months ago, I think. And it's non-hormonal because my body with hormones is so bad. Like, I literally cannot take anything hormonal because it will make me even crazier. So after Navy, I was on like the mini pill for 6 weeks and I literally wanted to. So then I went back to the doctor and I was like, I'm about to. And he was like, get off the mini pill. And then after Bambi, we obviously didn't do anything. So that's how we had Sol. Don't use breastfeeding as a contraception method. That doesn't work. Sol is the living truth of that. So now I'm on the copper IUD. Besides the fact that I pretty much have my period 24/7 every day for the last 6 weeks, it's pretty good. I mean, I haven't been pregnant, but maybe that's because we haven't had sex because I've always got my period. But no, I think that's a common side effect. You get your period a lot and also you bleed really heavy. Like really heavy, which is not ideal. But also if I had to choose which one, hormones or bleeding really heavy, it would probably be bleeding really heavy. So yeah, that's how I don't get pregnant. I just use the IUD and I don't have sex. Number 2, what is a conspiracy theory that you strongly believe? So that's interesting because I don't really read into conspiracy theories much because I literally am so anxious that if I read into it, I'll be up all night and I'll be freaking out about them. I know there's chemtrails in the sky that people believe in, like those white lines that airplanes draw. But what I do believe in, I think about often, is that plane that went down, you know, the MH471 thing, and they don't have a trace. Like, I don't even know if they found the black box. I think they did, but they had no remains of the plane. I think that's really whack, and I think something went down there. I don't know if aliens came at it or it got shot down, but like, how can you find an iPhone, but you cannot find a fucking airplane that flies through the sky that's meant to be tracked? Like, that's actually eerie. And if I think about it too long, I'll never catch another airplane in my life. So we'll move on. Question number 3. Would you get Botox? I actually already have Botox. Yeah. I got it in my forehead, a Dysport or something, and not as like hectic. But yeah, I live for Botox. I couldn't get it when I was pregnant or breastfeeding. So I've really had my fair share of time of looking aged. So I'm back on the Botox train and I'll be getting this till the day I die. When is the merch dropping? That will be dropping very soon, Alicia. Right, Alicia? It'll be dropping very, very soon. We're just working on it, perfecting it, because we don't want to be giving you guys some shitty jumpers. Question number 4. Are you formula feeding Sol and do you feel less of a connection with her as you aren't breastfeeding her? No, I don't. So I have had my fair share of titty sucking kids. I breastfed Navy for 18 months and then I breastfed Bambi for 6, and she literally bit me every time that I would bleed. Like, my nipple literally bled. And then Sol, I breastfed her for 4 months and then changed. And I was in this mindset when I first had Navy. I was like, holy shit, breastfeeding is amazing. It is so beautiful. It's so natural. And then I would get so upset and angry when he wouldn't take a bottle and I had just had enough of breastfeeding. I'm like, get off me. Like, he would roll over. Sometimes I would co-sleep and he would roll over and like start sucking my nipple in the middle of the night. I'm like, you're not even hungry. Get off me. So I had a love-hate relationship with breastfeeding. I saw the amazingness of it, and it's natural and it's free because formula is so expensive. And, you know, you don't have to, I'm constantly washing bottles now. But now I formula feed. I'm like, holy shit, I wish my other kids formula fed as well as breastfeeding, because it's so freeing that you don't have to whip out a tit 24/7. And it's so like draining as well when you're breastfeeding all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved it and I love it so much, and I was so happy that I could breastfeed. But after formula feeding Soul now exclusively, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm starting to feel like myself again. You know, you can eat oysters, there's a thing with your milk supply when you're breastfeeding. If you're lacking energy and if you're tired, your milk supply is like, you know, you don't make as much milk. And that's really, I guess, stressful for a mum, because like we can't control, like we're already sleep deprived. Like it's not my fault I'm not making much milk. So yeah, I don't feel a less connection with formula feeding. I actually love it more because I feel like I can enjoy it more. I hold the bottle, I look into her eyes, and I feel this relief that I'm not leaking milk through my clothes. So yeah, I thought it was going to be a hard adjustment for me, but I was so ready to, third child, I was like, take this bottle. It was amazing. Anywho, question number 5. Are you happy with how many years apart the kids are, if that makes sense? No, that makes perfect sense. I am very happy with their age gap. So I had, Navy was 3 and 2 months when Soul was born. So I guess I can't quite make the cut and say I have 3 under 3, sadly. But yeah, I am. It's definitely hectic and it's full on at times, and it's exhausting because I have 2 babies. Literally, Bambi is 18 months and Soul is 6 months. So that is really exhausting, but I do love the age gap. They all are really close. And I think about when they're older, you know, when Navy's 20, Bambi's 18 and Soul's 17. Like, how cool is that? I literally have 3 kids all that close in age. They can all grow. I can't wait until Soul's underage going out. Not that I'm saying that she should be underage going out, but, you know, there comes a time, because she's born in December. So I know in her final year of school, she's going to want to go out. So she'll need like Bambi's fakie. And I just can't wait for that. I don't know why. It just like makes me excited that they can have prees at my house. And I want to be, you know, the mum from Mean Girls, Regina George's mum. I want to have big fake tits, and I want to be that mum when they're older. That's what I aspire to be like. Question number 6 is, how come you look completely different to your siblings? They all look the same. Well, Rosie, I don't play a role in my dad's sperm and my mum's egg and why it created me. But I guess that's just the luck of the draw with siblings. They all look different, and they, you know, you're not just going to look all the same. No egg and sperm is the same. So that's why I guess I look different. I look more like my dad's side. He's Italian. And they're a little bit more tanned. My nonna is from the north, from Trieste, and they're all quite tanned. They all have blonde hair. And that's what I had before I dyed my hair. So yeah, I think I have the Italian blood and my siblings have the Irish. So I guess I'm luckier. Just kidding. Nothing wrong with the Irish. How did you know you wanted more kids? What feeling did you get? Well, I just got this urge of getting really horny. No, I actually think God creates this urge, okay? Or whoever you believe in, okay? I'm sorry if I offended you just then. Whoever you believe in creates this urge. And it's really whack, because as soon as you come out of the sleep deprivation and your child turns 1, there's something that clicks in your body. Even though you've had the hardest year of your life and you're exhausted and you've just come out of it, something clicks in your body and it makes you so horny and that you want to create life. And I don't know why that happens, but it's literally like Mother Nature being like, you need to make this child a sibling. I don't know why it happens, but I didn't ask for my body to want to have more kids, because frankly, I hate being pregnant. I hate it. I love it, but I hate it. You know, it's kind of like breastfeeding, love but hate. So yeah, I don't really feel the urge, but something in my body's like, you need to have sex with Ben. and make a child right now. So I just think it's something to do with Mother Nature. And do you know what? For me, I'm very bad at saying goodbye and closing chapters. And I struggle with that a lot. Like when I see people, I'm really bad at saying goodbye because I hate goodbyes. And I think that comes down to the fear of death. But so for me, everyone asked me, are you done at having 3 kids? And I think, yes, like I am done, but no, I'm not closing this chapter. So I'll have another 2 in a few years' time kind of thing, because I'm not ready to say goodbye. I said this on my stories. I'm not ready to say goodbye to wasting so much money on pregnancy tests, because I'm literally addicted to taking pregnancy tests. Like before, I think even when Ben and I don't have sex, I'll still take a pregnancy test thinking I'm like Mother Mary and I'm going to have like, immaculate conception. Is that what it's called? When you just like have a child all of a sudden without having sex. So I'll literally take pregnancy tests even though we haven't done the deed. And I'm obsessed. I buy them all from Chemist Warehouse, and I buy First Response and Clear Blue, and I buy those ones that it's like the digital and tells you how many weeks. So yeah, I'm just not ready to start saving my money on other things than pregnancy tests. I just can't wait to get that double line again, or even just to have like no line, but to hold it up to the sun for like 3 hours to see if I can convince myself there's another line. I love that shit. I eat it up. Okay, next question. What was your first job? Lots of love, Ruby. My first job was, I did a lot of babysitting growing up, but my first proper job, I want to say, was in the gelato store, my local gelato store. I worked there for 6 weeks before I went away on a gap year. And I also worked in a gym, like an MMA gym, but they fired me because, why'd they fire me? Oh yeah. Well, okay, firstly, I was trying to do the workout classes while I was on front desk. I guess it's a pretty good reason to fire someone. So like I was the front desk chick. So when you walk in, hi, like I'm there, sign in, whatever. But that front desk chick was never sitting down in her job because she was like in the kickboxing class. And they're like, you can't do classes while you're on work. It's not how it works. Like if you want to do a class, come earlier or stay later or like come a different day. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was doing the classes and they're like, so we need someone to be able to like sit and answer. Oh, and also they made me return calls all the time on like the phone. People would leave messages and I hated speaking to people on the phone. So I would never return anyone's call. So if you didn't call me at the right time when I was in office hours, I just wouldn't return your call because nothing made me more anxious than returning someone's call and talking to them. So yeah, I clearly wasn't made for that job. That is why I'm an influencer here today. Next question. What is my favorite sex position? That's a great question because I don't know. Why did I read that question out? My favorite sex position would be, is it missionary? Like the one like that, like a sandwich? So that's my favorite sex position where it's like, I don't know, I think it's called missionary because I'm cold-blooded. I'm convinced I'm like a lizard. And so I'm cold all the time. So like I hate taking off my clothes, but if you're like really close to me, I'm really warm and I like that. Next question in capital letters. Did you always want to be an influencer? No, I didn't. That when I first started influencing, the job wasn't even a job. It hadn't even existed because I started so long ago. So I never even thought about it as a career or a job. I just kind of fell into it. So I didn't always want to be one, but it's all I know now. So yeah, it's an interesting career that I've been in, but yeah, it's fun. Next question. How did you sleep with sleep deprivation routine with first baby? You know what? When you only have one baby, which you don't realize until you have more babies, the sleep deprivation is a lot easier. Not easier, it's fucking hard, but like you only have that child to look after. So when they're sleeping, you can sleep. And when they're, I guess you've got nowhere else to be. And I didn't realize that until I had more kids. So when I had Navy, I really should have just been laying in my bed, soaking it all up, not leaving the house, just sleeping when he slept. But I was trying to be this fucking hero because I clearly thought I was going to get a medal, and I was trying to take him to the park, and I was trying to go on these really long walks, and I was just trying to do everything. And then when I had Bambi and I had Navy, like I could not rest when I wanted to rest. And then even more fucked when I had Sol, when I was pregnant with Sol, and I had Navy and Bambi. And Bambi was she was like literally 6 months old when I was 5 months old when I was in the peak of my morning sickness. And I have this baby and she was breastfeeding as well. And then I had Navy, who was like, 2.5. It was hectic. I never rested. I was constantly, it was just so exhausting. So the sleep deprivation with Navy, if I was in your position, if you're pregnant right now, I think sleep when the baby sleeps, rest, lock your front doors. I used to write signs being like, do not come in, because always the mailman would wake up the dog who would wake up the baby. Lock your doors to not let any visitors in. I fucking hated visitors, honestly. Like, I just hate this stigma around that you want visitors at your hospital and your house. Like, no, I fucking don't. Don't come into my house. And once I made it really clear with Navy, this lady neighbor came in unannounced, like not even fucking close with her at all. Really kind though. She bought him a gift. But I'm like, also don't come unannounced to a new mother's house. So I was there in like my undies and a huge pad, and I just had my tits out. And I was like, you come over here unannounced, you can literally stare at my tits. And I let her do that. And I felt it was quite liberating, like, because she was trying to talk to me and I just had my tits out and I was in undies and a pad. But I'm like, so this is what should happen. You never turn up to someone's house unannounced, number one. And number two, when she's a new mom, literally gave birth 2 weeks ago. Like, I will put my big fat titties in your face. But yeah, that was next question. Next one. Oh, I got this question a few times. This is kind of weird. Will you let your kids go to a public or private school? I get this question so many times, and I actually find it so weird that it's even a question in topic. But I don't have a stance on this at all, which might come to a surprise because I went to an all-girls private school and Ben went to an all-boys private school, and we are so indifferent. Mostly because I didn't really do anything with my education. I'm a young mom. Clearly, I didn't do much, but I understand. I mean, I had a great experience at the private school I went to, and Ben had a great experience at his, but I think it really all depends on your child. And for me, growing up, I was really into surfing and I love surfing so much. And I felt by going to this all-girls private school, I lost that part of me. So I think it all depends on your child. If I saw Navy was really into the beach, not into the beach, into making sandcastles, no, into surfing and thrived off that, and it made him happy and it, and he loved it and that was his thing, I wouldn't take that away from him and send him to an all-boys Catholic school or whatever and where they don't surf. I wouldn't do that to him because I'm like, that's what makes you happy. I'm not going to make you lose that part of you. So I do really think it all depends on the child. We don't have our kids down for any schools at the moment. Probably should. That's okay. I probably want to homeschool them. And I say that all the time. I wouldn't have the patience to do that. And I do see how amazing schools are for them to grow and the social side of it. My mum's works in a school and she has a whole life. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I speak about this often with my mum friends because everyone's talking about primary schools and where their kids are going to go. And like, I'm 26. I had no idea I'd be worrying about like fucking schools and where they're going. And there's too many kids. There's so many kids at this school. And it's the biggest state primary school there is in the state. And I'm like, holy shit, I don't have any other option. Because here it's like you only can send them in your zone. And I live so far away. I only have one school in my zone. So that's my only option. So I don't really know what I'm going to do. I often say to Ben, let's send them to Montessori school. But I feel like sometimes it's not the best option, I think mingling with everyone from all walks of life is so great for kids. So yeah, I don't know. We have no stance on a public versus private school here, especially where we live, we're so far away. So we just want the best for our kid, and whether that means their happiness or their whether that means their happiness or their education, whatever, if Navy or Sol or Bambi is super academic and they're going to thrive in a school that's great with academics, so be it. So that is my stance. I hope you guys can stop asking those questions because I'm 26. I don't want to have to worry about that shit, all right? Okay. New earring tour. So I went and got my ears pierced the other day. I've actually always had my ears pierced. I had like them all pierced, but then they all closed up because I've got the weirdest ears that I don't know, they kind of get really infected all the time, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's my earrings. I got helix and all those things, but they feel like they're getting infected. My ears kind of like hate earrings unless they're 24 karat gold. No, but seriously, I don't know. Everything in my ears just gets infected. So I let all the piercings close up. So I just got them pierced the other day in a random shop in the mall. And yeah, they've been really uncomfortable to sleep on for the last 4 nights. So might take them out tomorrow, might not. We'll see. Next question. Have you ever had brands try take advantage of you when you were young? Yeah, I think I have. And they're probably in my burn book. So I couldn't tell you which ones they are. But I definitely think when you're a one-man show, especially now, I have brands try take advantage of me and my rates and things like that. And I'm pretty stern. They probably think I'm such a fucking bitch. But I'm like, no, these are my rates. And they're like, oh, what about this? I'm like, nah, sorry. And I think that comes with a lot of practice because I'm such a people pleaser and I say yes to everything. But now with me, my time is limited, and for me personally, my kids come before work. So if I can't really work that around my kids or I don't have enough time, I'm just like, no. And these brands probably hate it because they have to follow up with me so many times and then they wait for my response. And then my response is like, oh, nah, sorry. And I'm like, well, do you know what annoys me though? It's like, here's my media kit. Here are my rates. I don't have time to negotiate. I'm sorry. Just like pay my worth or move on. And that's how I see it in business. And some brands will just hustle, and I understand that's their job to hustle. But for me, I'm like, I don't have time to hustle, so I'm just going to ghost your email now. So yeah, that's how I deal with brands trying to take advantage of me. It's a really mature way to deal with it. Next question. Have you ever been diagnosed or medicated for ADHD? It's honestly changed my life with the racing thoughts. No, I don't think I have ADHD. I just think I'm high energy and flamboyant and confident. No, I don't know what I have. I don't want to put a label to it because I think we are everyone wants to label someone. Everyone wants to put a label to you, to put you in a box. I just think I'm high energy. Yes, I have some fucked up things going through my head at times, but therapy has been helping with that. So I just think, do you know what I was thinking the other day when I was going to sleep though? I was thinking, what if I'm the normal one and all you motherfuckers are the cooked ones that actually have lost all your happiness and don't do anything that makes you happy? So then you view me online and you're like, she's batshit crazy dancing around a kitchen like that. What if you guys are the problem? Not me. Like, I'm the one that's living my life and then you guys should be labeled. Ever thought of that? I was thinking about it last night, 2 nights ago, and it kept me up all night. So just have a think of that. That can be your takeaway for today. Next question. Do you have a specific workout routine? No, I don't, sadly. I work out when I can. I try and move my body every day. Probably today I won't be moving it because I'm recording all day. Then I got to go to my sister's birthday dinner. And then make time for my kids somehow in between that, so I don't have time for myself. But tomorrow I will make time, and hopefully for the rest of the week I'll make time. I'll either do a home workout, which means working out with some rusty weights at home with the Huntsmans and the redback spiders, which is super nice. It keeps me on edge. Or I go to a new place like an infrared Pilates class. It's really good. And I honestly think, mark my words, it's going to be the new form of training that people are going to be like, holy shit. And it's amazing. It's pretty much you're like working out in a heated room. So it's already quite hot, but it's like not quite, it's mat Pilates. And I do think mat Pilates is better for you. It's more better than like reformer Pilates. You use your body more because it's your body weight. And I think body weight exercises are the best to see results. And I'm saying that from I studied my Cert 3 and 4. So take my word. But yeah, I don't really have a workout routine. I just do like a mix of weights. I'm starting to incorporate walking again. I try walk at least 6Ks a day now. Won't happen today, but I try and do that maybe 4 days a week. 6 or 7. Yeah. Anywho. Next question. My stomach keeps rumbling. I just ate. Is that IBS? Maybe we got IBS as well. Cool. Fucking IBS too. Let's just add it. Okay. If you ever had your time again, would you have your 3 kids close together? Any tips? Yes, I would actually, because I don't know any different, you know. I think having your kids close in age is great, but I also think having a huge gap is great. You know, it's never going to be a sweet spot. I think regardless, you all have to go through the exact same shit. Doesn't matter if one's awake, you're all awake, you know? Like it's just kind of like my normal. So I couldn't imagine having a bigger gap because it would be annoying getting rid of all my baby shit and then having to re-get it all. So now I've just kind of had, you know, the bouncer we have, Navy had, I've just bought a new cover for it. Or, you know, the cot that Bambi is in, Navy had it, and then Sol will have it. So it's great to be able to pass down those things and be sustainable like that, you know? So yeah, I don't know any different. So I do like having them that close together. But I'm sure it would be just as amazing if Navy was 18. I'm kidding. That would fucking suck. No, I think I'm doing it the right way. I think. Next question. Are you still working out since your challenge has stopped? Yes, I am. Working out to me is great for your mental clarity. I love being fit. I love a fit body. Oh my God, that sounds so cooked. But I do. I love being fit. I love toned legs, like on myself. I'm just saying, like, don't get offended. It's what I love. I love feeling strong and I love pushing myself and getting those endorphins pumping. So no, I haven't stopped. It's just part of my routine. It's my time, you know. I used to go and get my nails done to have time to myself, but then shellac ruined my nails. So now I work out instead and I love it. It's great. It's fabulous. Next question is, do you and Ben share house and kid responsibilities 50-50? Yes, we do. He probably does maybe 60-40. Yeah, he would actually do more than me, if I'm going to be honest, which is great because I'm working. He sees that and he helps and steps up a lot. Like, you know, yesterday, for example, to be honest, yesterday was a good day for me, but I cooked the kids dinner in the afternoon and made spaghetti bowl, and then I fed them dinner before I went for a walk with a friend. So then Ben just had to kind of bath and shower them, and then he cooked me dinner. To be fair, he cooked me fucking 2 eggs as an omelet. Like he did it. I'm a very simple eater, and sometimes at dinner I'm not hungry, so we do share them. But more out of the fact that he doesn't think I'm very good at cooking, so he likes to do that. And he also thinks I'm really shit at cleaning, so he also likes to do that. But I'm also like, if you're going to complain this many times, I'm just not fucking doing it. And that's what I've done. I've taken a step back. But then in saying that, like I pick up, you know, like for example, he'll pay the mortgage and then I'll pay for everything else, kids, childcare, groceries, bills, like all those things. So we split everything 50-50, but it was never like a conversation. It wasn't like you're paying for this and I'm paying for this. It just kind of fell into place, which works well. And we're both working parents and we have to work as a team, because if we don't work as a team, our sink ships. Holy shit, our sink ships. Our sip. Do I need to have a weed gummy? My ship sinks. Are you having a brain fart? My sink ships. Holy shit. Fucking next question. What is your favorite food? My favorite food? Do you know what? If I had a death row meal, and this probably says a lot about my personality, my last meal would be a bowl of white fluffy jasmine rice with soy sauce, not too much soy sauce, so like just enough, but not too much. Like I don't want my rice drowning. I just want enough, and then a banana. That would be my last meal. I know it sounds cooked. And I say it says a lot about my personality because I think I'm just really simple. Not in the head, but just like I'm just like a simple girl. Like I don't like it too fancy. I just want something that tastes good, fills me up, and that I just trust. And like, can you ever fuck up a bowl of rice? Do you know what I mean? Actually lies, my dad can. He fucking makes his rice so dry and he uses long grain. Like I know my rice. Like I won't eat long grain rice. I think it tastes like shit and it's always dry. But give me soft, fluffy jasmine rice. I'll eat that shit up. So that's probably my favorite food. Like and then as a little snack would be a snack of seaweed. But it has to be Korean seaweed, not Japanese. There's a difference. If you know, you know. Next question. I would like some tips on how to calm down and help my husband become more carefree. Well, Daisy, I love your name. Do you know what I think you need to do? You need to give that man some exposure therapy. I did it to Ben and he's a changed man. So my advice would be drive with him, tell him what you're doing, wind down. Wind down. Wind down. Is that the word? Wind down all the fucking windows. Blast your song, like a real girly song, like girls just want to have fun, or like it's just another manic Monday, you know, like that type of shit, like 80s groove, and make him sing. And as he's singing and you're driving, honk at people so that you get their attention. And honestly, it alters their brain chemistry and it makes them become carefree. Like, I don't know what that did to Ben, but like he does not give a fuck now. Maybe like at all. Like he's super with judgment and carefree. Like at home, he's a little bit more uptight, but I'm also like, Ben, it's 7 a.m. Just chill, babe. Just bring it down a notch. And that kind of, he's always like, okay, thank you. I needed that. So yeah, exposure therapy is really great. I think that's the word. I only learned about that from TikTok. Like I was doing this and then a lot of people were commenting and be like, that's exposure therapy. So I think that's a great way to make him more carefree. You just kind of need him to like, you know, like take off his clothes and just feel liberated, you know? And that's a good way. Next question. How do you stay positive and do you struggle mentally with hormones? I did struggle with my hormones, like changing all the time, but I'm speaking to a therapist now and I feel great. I don't know why I feel so good because I'm like, I'm just talking, but I really think talking to someone really helps for some reason. I guess he's the only one that listens to me and he has my side. You know what I mean? Like whenever I try to talk to my friends or something, for some reason they always take Ben's side. I'm like, okay, no, we're not taking his side. You're my friend. You're not going to get brownie points by supporting him. So yeah, I think by talking to someone really helps. And yeah, I'm actually in a really good mood today. Guys, do you think I'm in a good mood? Am I in a good mood? I thought so. Therapy must be working. You should have seen me last time. I was some fucking angry bitch. Next question. What did your parents think about having a relationship with an older guy? They actually didn't ever say anything about it. But you know what was so funny? So my sister the other day, apparently she called me and she goes, oh my God, you know what was so cooked? And I'm like, what? She goes, I told mum the other day that I was like going on a date with like a 42-year-old or something. And she was like, why would you want to go for someone that age, Bella? Like, I just don't understand. Why would you? That's just so weird. Like, and mum's like, Bella was like, Mum, your youngest daughter is literally married to a 40-year-old and she's 26. What are you talking about? So yeah, I feel like with my parents, they turn a blind eye to me, you know? Like when my sister said that, I was so confused. I was like, has she forgotten Ben's age or are they just really accepting of him? But they never really cared about his age ever. Like my mum never and dad never ever said, is this a good idea? I don't know, because he's such a lovable person. They loved him. They saw the goodness in him. He was like not in it for the wrong reasons, vice versa. So yeah, it was never an issue. The first time my mum met him, we were going to New Zealand together, me and Ben, because I was like, Mum, you're not coming. Like, it's kind of weird when you get into a relationship when you're older. Like, you introduce him to your parents, but you don't want to do it too early before like you're dating. And we weren't dating at this point. We went to New Zealand. He had a work trip. So I went over for like 3 nights. with him, and my parents had never met him, but obviously they trusted me and everything like that. But they had seen him driving around because he lived up the road from my parents. So then I went to New Zealand and he picked me up from my parents' house at like 5:30. And my mum told me the night before she was going to come down and meet him. And I was like, you're not fucking doing that, mum. That's really weird. You're not coming down the driveway at dark, meeting this guy who I'm not even dating. We're just going on a little trip together. And yes, she did come down at dark, and I was so embarrassed. She had a robe on the wrong way and like the tag was coming out, and I was so fucking embarrassed. Like I still remember that. And she met him and he said, hello, Mrs. Clinton. And she forever fell in love with him after he said hi to her, like with her last name. She's very old school like that. I don't know. That would make me feel like I'm on blast at 5:30. But she loved it and she fell in love with him. And yeah, they never had a problem with his age gap, ever. Ever, ever, ever. I feel like my followers have more of a problem with his age and our age gap than anyone else around me. Which says more about you than me, right? Next question. I'll wrap it up for y'all. How do your parents feel about how you raise your kids if they were strict with you guys? Well, that's the funny thing about parenting, because they may feel away, but they ain't telling me how they feel, which is great because I'm super ruthless like that. I will be like, I don't care. I don't care how you feel. That doesn't affect me. And I'm very strong-minded like that. Like, mum will say something that doesn't agree with her, and I'll be like, you better leave. Like, I'm pretty ruthless, because if you come into my house or my home and you want to attack what I'm doing, I'm like, no, that's not okay with me. I will never actually tell her to leave, but she'll get a pretty good indication that I'm off it and she'll probably leave. She used to do that when Navy was younger, when like he was my firstborn, and then, you know, he would sit in front of the TV to eat his dinner. He would sit on the couch to eat his dinner, and she was like having fucking kittens. Like, he wasn't at a dinner table. He wasn't having adult conversations. Like, holy shit, this kid is going to come out like a chimpanzee. So that kind of gave them the heebie-jeebies. And then, do you know what? It's so funny because I just am doing things so opposite. I let my kids eat chocolate whenever they want. I'll go to my parents' house and I'll bring them a snack bag and we'll have lollies, and I let them wander around while they eat. I'm like, as long as they're eating, like, I'm so chilled. It's so funny. And my parents kind of bite their tongue. But when I'm at my parents' house, obviously it's their house, their rules. So mum will be like, you have to sit down in your high chair, Bambi. You can't be walking around. Or like, Navy, you can't be swinging the golf club in the house, you know, like, we don't do that here. We can do it outside, but not inside. So I respect that and I respect their boundaries. But when they're in my house, I'm like, you respect what I want. And Ben's really good. Ben stands his ground as well. We're not like little pussies that are like, do what the grandparents want. It's like, no, you do what I want. You know, you had your time. Now grandparents, in my opinion, just need to sit and observe and give the kids ice cream. Like, you're just there to have fun. They're not your kids, okay? Next question. Traveling with my 18-month-old toddler to Hawaii, give me all the tips. Honestly, Jessica, it really depends what your child is like, because if someone told me I had to travel with Bambi to Hawaii right now, I would jump ship that airplane. I would not fucking get on it. I would actually cry myself to sleep or take 7 Valium. But if it was Navy, I would be so excited. I would be getting him he would be amazing to travel with and travel with. And he was so amazing to travel with. I traveled to Hawaii with him when he was 18 months, but his mindset was a little bit different. He was a little bit more prodigious than Bambi. I'm sorry, Bambi, but it's like, you have your strengths, baby girl. But at the same age, if I had to compare, Navy was a little bit, like, you know, so he was kind of and he's always been like that. He's always been more advanced for his age. So it was kind of like traveling with a 2-year-old, and Navy never had tantrums. Like, he's never had a tantrum. Kind of now he's a little bit more emotional, but as a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, he's never had a tantrum. He would never throw himself back and cry. Whereas Bambi girl, now that chick's on another level. She'll fucking bash her head down. She doesn't care what's in her way. She'll crack her head if she wants to have a tantrum. It really depends on your kid, but I think number 1 tip would be snacks. Number 2 would be stickers, snacks, some Nurofen in case they're sick, you know? Give them a dose of Nurofen and Panadol. Brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Last question. would be when you have loved, have you ever loved or disliked your boobs before or after kids? Well, do you know what? Before kids, I always thought they were like, I never liked them, but like, why would I think that? Now I look at them, I'm like, I can't believe you thought that. So I feel like you're always going to pick apart something on your body, right? But definitely after kids, they have changed. Like I can probably pull my nipple out 30 centimeters, I reckon. Like I could pull my nipple out to there. The skin, I have so much skin around them. Like I've probably done 2.5 years of straight, just like of a child sucking on my nipples, right? So like if a child's going to suck on your nipples for 2.5 years, they're obviously going to sit a little different. And that's okay. I mean, they look a bit droopy and a bit sad, but they fed my children and Ben loves them. Isn't that all that matters? Yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening to my Q&A with Indy. I hope I answered your question and I gave you a bit more insight. Anyway, yep, I better go and blow my nose because again, I was sick when I recorded this because I'm never just healthy without a blocked nose. Toodles!